Hello there guys, welcome back to another video. You have joined us on a huge Europe trip where we are driving across a number of different countries, and right now we are in France. So I wanted to make this video to explain what you can expect to find on the road while you're driving in France. Now, obviously I'm making this video from the perspective of somebody who is from the UK. So if you are from a country, say, that is already in Europe, then you probably have a slightly different view or perspective to mine. So just bear that in mind, but I hope this video helps you if you are maybe planning on driving in France sometime soon. So the first thing I want to point out is that in France, they drive on the wrong side of the road. Yes, they don't drive on the left, they drive on the wrong side of the road. So, just bear that in mind if you are coming from the UK. It's going to be like the same as it is in pretty much any European country. You're going to be driving on the right, not on the left. So if you are coming over here in a right-hand drive UK registered car, and say you've just came off the ferry or you've just came out of the Eurotunnel, make sure you drive on the right side. Don't attempt to drive on the left, because you'll probably end up in a crash. The next point I want to make then is regarding the speed limits. So again, in France, it is different to the UK. Speed limits will be in kilometers per hour, not in miles per hour. So if you see a sign that says 130, that doesn't mean you can go 130 miles per hour. It means 130 kilometers per hour. So if you translate kilometers to miles per hour, so let's do a very basic one first. 100 kilometers per hour is around 62 miles per hour. 130, which I believe is their top speed limit in France, that equates to around 82-ish miles per hour. So in general, you can drive quite a bit quicker in France. That's on their motorways, on their highways, compared to say the UK. I mean, the top limit in the UK is only 70 miles per hour. So in some areas you can drive quicker, but then when it comes to villages, things like that, the speed will drastically reduce. So pay attention to speed signs, because if you get pulled over, you may get an on-the-spot fine, and it will end up being a lot. You'll have to pay many euros, and nobody wants to go on a trip and come back with a huge fine, do they? So stick to the speed limits, don't get in trouble with the police, and make sure that you are obeying the road signs. So an important thing to know is what you are required by law to have in your vehicle at all times. So as of today's date, which is sometime in July 2025, you are required to have a safety triangle. So they're called safety triangles.
Like a warning triangle.
You are required to have a warning triangle. You are required to have a high visibility vest for each passenger. So if there's only 2 of you in the car, you only need 2. If there's 5 passengers in the car, then you need 5. If you are traveling from the UK, you are required to have a UK sticker on your vehicle. You are also required to have proof of ownership for your vehicle. So if you're from the UK, that will usually be a V5 document. You are required to have with you proof of insurance as well. Now, it used to be, but I don't think it's any longer a requirement to have a fire extinguisher with you. It is, of course, a good idea to always have a fire extinguisher in a vehicle with you, but I don't think it's now a legal requirement. It also used to be a requirement to have breathalyzers, and I guess the police in France must have upped their budgets, and you know, they was able to afford the use of breathalyzers. But yeah, I think they stopped that in like 2020, 2021, something like that. So yeah, you no longer need them. It's also a good idea to have, you know, other things like first aid kit, some basic tools, maybe a spare wheel, jack and all those kinds of things. But yeah, they're not really essential. But the other things that I did mention, they are needed, because if you get pulled over and you don't have them in your vehicle, then again, you could be pretty heavily fined. So an important thing to let you all know is France is heavily based upon toll roads. So pretty much to get anywhere, anytime quick, you're gonna have to go on a toll road. So if you notice, if you set your maps with and without tolls, there'll be a pretty big difference. Say if you're going from northern France to the south of France, if you're making that journey by going on a highway, then you're going to have to go through tolls. If not, then you're probably going to be going on a lot of local roads through towns and villages and things, and it's going to take you a lot longer. I don't know if this is France's way of recouping, you know, road tax in a sense, but yeah, it's not like that in the UK. You don't have to basically pay tolls to get anywhere. It's a bit annoying. Obviously you can have tolls off, as I mentioned, but you know, just know that it's going to take you a hell of a lot longer to get anywhere. But what I will say in general though, the roads, then, you know, in terms of the quality, they are a lot better than the UK. There seems to be a hell of a lot less potholes and things like that here in general. Now, it's probably mostly down to the climate. You know, they don't have as cold winters, so they probably don't have the road surface popping from, you know, from water getting in and freezing essentially. Now, if you are planning on coming to France and maybe you don't have a plan, you know, a particular plan of where to go and what to see, then I would do your research. I mean, we've been here a good few times now, and in my opinion, there's really not a lot to see, especially in the middle of the country. Now, I say the middle of the country. Now, the middle of the country is like huge. I mean, France is a big country in general. The middle of the country is not like the middle of the UK. In the UK, you can get from like one side to the other in what, 4 or 5 hours, whereas in France it'll take you like a good full day of driving. So yeah, you know, do plan your route accordingly. Obviously there's a lot of major cities. If cities are your thing, then maybe see them, but I think in general most of the sites that's worth seeing are around the coast. So we haven't actually visited south of France, but I'm sure that's beautiful down there. In the northern region, there's a lot of history, of course, you know, in Normandy and those sorts of areas. So that's definitely worth seeing. But yeah, before you do come to France, do your research, plan your routes, and yeah, just don't spend too long traveling through France and stopping in too many places in the middle part, because if I must say, it is quite flat, it is quite boring, and you're basically just driving through miles and miles of farmland essentially. So there we go, those are some things that you can expect when driving in France. Like I said, take it with a pinch of salt. I'm only talking from my perspective. I am from the UK, so if you are from France, please don't hate me. But yeah, just take things what I've said on board, do your research as I've said, and enjoy the country, because there is, you know, a lot of nice things to see in France. And yeah, hopefully this video has been helpful. I want to thank you all for watching anyway. Give this video a like, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you have not already done so, and I will see you all very, very soon in that next one.